comment, we will move the phone to the podium so he can hear better, okay? Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, sure. Sure.
We have, because of the tri-municipal park ordinance, the public comments are at the end. We were a little concerned, or I was a little concerned, that there might be more significant public comment relating to that issue. And we want to make sure that the folks who are here for other business can get in and out. So technically the public comments are on the agenda towards the end of the meeting. But if anyone would like to make a public comment on the non-tri-park issues, we'll certainly make time now to do that. We don't mean to take public comment away from someone on these other matters. We're just trying to get through any other reports that might come first.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Pam Hackenberg has a public comment.
My public comment, I would like to ask Mr. Doug Byerly to come up here. Byerly. I did that on purpose, Doug, because you and I...
You want me to say that?
One more time. I've been here for 3 years in January, and you and I have had our ups and downs. More times. I think I just like to cause you grief, and then you're like, oh, okay. But I've enjoyed my time working with you.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed my time working with you.
I
everybody.
I will miss, I think we all will miss all the time that you put into this building, into this township. Because we truly believe that you've done your hardest for the 24 years that you have been here.
Thank you.
And we will miss you.
Thank you. I'll miss all of you.
So we would like to present you with the certificate of service.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone else like to speak to agenda items other than the tri-park? Okay.
No? Okay. We'll begin the meeting. We'll finish off the budget meeting. The budget items that we held over from last month's meeting regarding the salaries. Doug was out of town and unable to have an opportunity to spend time reviewing salaries, so we decided that we would bring that up at this meeting and then we can approve the budget. So we had, first of all, we did have executive session prior to this meeting. We discussed some personnel matters. We discussed Tool Shed Lane and the Tri-Municipal Park, and any legal matters that the township has had. And at that meeting, we did talk with regarding salaries for our 4 employees. The secretary treasurer, we were looking at a 3% increase. For our roadmaster, a 3.5% increase. Our assistant roadmaster, a 3% increase, and our skilled laborer, a 3% increase. I'd like to have a motion and discussion. Perhaps we need to have a discussion prior to the motion.
I have no discussion. We've talked about this in the executive session, and I'll make the motion.
Charles, do you have something you'd like to add?
I have no discussion. I'll second Doug's motion.
Okay, I have a motion made for the identified salary increases for our 4 employees. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No sign. Thank you. So that will be added into the 2022 budget as we
Yes.
just agreed upon. Okay. Now we should, we have to approve the whole budget, right?
Yeah, I guess we're scheduled for that.
On the 30th.
On the 30th.
30th, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that that completes the budget items. Everything else we had a little bit of discussion
Work through
on.
it, yeah, work through it all except for that one,
Yes,
except for the increases,
okay.
yeah.
Then we'll move on to the liaison reports. David, anything for the solicitor? Emergency Management Coordinator, Jim?
I have not reported.
Thank you. Great Township Fire Company. I know that they had their meeting last week and they did the election of officers and they identified the board for the fireman's relief. And I do know that the fireman's relief audit was completed and Darren is working on some things as well as the auditor. So as soon as that's completed, we'll get a report.
Okay, good.
Jim, anything from the Old Greg School Advisory Board?
Well, the only thing we really had was December 4th, we had our craft fair, and we had over 50 vendors. And we made $1,350 for vendor spots, $689 selling food, $39 in donations, and $85.50 from the library for them selling books. Came up to $2,163.50. I want to thank everybody that helped and anybody that came and bought stuff.
It was a success.
It was, yep, $2,100.
That's fabulous.
That's great.
Thank you. Doug, anything from fiscal plant report?
I just want to mention that the dishwasher in the kitchen isn't working, and we need it. We use it a lot, we gotta have it. I asked for a quote from Allied, they're the ones that come in and looked at it. The quote was $1,085 to fix it, and that's on top of a $200 and some service call to come in and determine how to fix it. So we're looking at roughly $1,300. But like I said, we need to have we have people using the kitchen and ASAP.
So
Yeah.
Allied's going to take care of it.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Pam, anything as operations manager?
I think we ought to thank the Santa Claus that came out and Mrs. Santa Claus, which was Davy Grubb and Connie Hartley, for showing up. And we should also thank Joel and Kitty for the donation of the candy canes and the fire company because we ran out of candy, so they donated more candy for the kids. We never expected over 50 kids to be here.
Nothing from the Penn Valley Code. We didn't get a report.
You have
I
it in
guess
your
we did
packets.
get a report from the Penn Valley Code Enforcement Agency, so you have that in front of you. You can review that.
May I ask a question? I'm curious where the dishwasher is located.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
I'd like to see it.
Mhm.
Sure. We can show you that after the meeting, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Sure.
You fix dishwashers?
I have. Is it an industrial style or is
Yeah,
it?
it's a big one.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
No.
Charles, do you know anything regarding the Penn Valley EMS? Have
To
they,
the best of my knowledge, they're doing well, and everything seems to be doing okay from what I understand and heard. I did not make the meeting though.
okay, thank you. Regional Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission, Water and Sewer, nothing? Actually, I know the Penn Valley Regional Planning Commission, I should say, I did go to that meeting, I forget what the date was, I think the 15th of November, and they did pass their budget. That was their discussion that evening, they had a
Yeah,
budget approval.
yeah, and they'll meet again in January,
Okay.
the end of January, yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to the Secretary Treasurer's report. You've had the minutes, you had an opportunity to look at those. We had minutes from the November 9 budget meeting and the regular board meeting from November 10. So first I'll entertain a motion to approve the November 9 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes.
Okay,
I will make that motion.
motion and a second to approve the November 9 meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And I will entertain a motion to approve the November 10 meeting minutes.
Yes, I'll make the motion.
I will second that.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve the November 9 meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. And you have in front of you the all funds financial report. Anything there that you want to review, discuss?
I've looked at this before,
Okay.
before the meeting, yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the all funds financial report ending in November 2021?
I'll make the motion.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the all funds financial report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now, Pam, we have a motion to approve the meeting dates.
Yes.
Have those identified?
I do. Okay, if everybody can look at their dates for next year, for 2022. We will have our reorganization meeting on January 3rd. Next meeting is February 10th, March 10th, April 14th, May 12th, June 9th, July 14th, August 11th, September 8th, October 13th, November 10th, and December 8th. The only thing that we did not look into is our budget meetings.
I'm okay with all the dates that you've identified.
Two of you ought to approve that, I mean, it makes a difference to me.
Is Ben okay?
Sorry, Doug, I forgot.
Are you okay with those dates, Charles, as of today?
As of today, yes.
Okay, I'll need a motion to approve those meeting dates.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 2022 meeting dates. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to the Roadmaster's report from Brandon.
I guess we started messing in the snow a couple times this year past month, not a lot, but got into that. Trying to put snow fence up in between mud and crops coming off the field. Trimmed a few trees here and there, we started doing some of that. And the guys, we've been working on our annual mandatory PennDOT mandated sign replacement. So, other than that, I don't really have anything much.
Thank you. Unfinished business, the COVID-19, the township continues with their preventative measures. Under new business, we need a motion to advertise to hire a CPA to do our annual audit.
I will make the motion.
To advertise.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion, it's been seconded to advertise to hire a CPA to do the township's annual audit for 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Pam, I think you have some correspondence.
Yes. First one is a letter from Laren Horner for the SCO.
I haven't looked at the schedule. Okay.
He's gonna approve it. He's gonna approve it next meeting, so this is
Yeah.
just for our review.
Yeah,
He's done
okay.
it.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, the next thing is the memorandum of understanding. There you go. And they will need to sign it.
This is for a,
So,
he's a developer.
Tibbins earlier about this.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with this, yeah.
Will you make the motion?
I'll make the motion, yes.
Charles? Doug has made a motion to go ahead and approve the memorandum of understanding regarding a subdivision.
Right, I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion to approve, and it's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. Anything else for the good of the order for this matter?
Charles, I'm going to move you over to the podium for public comment.
Okay.
We didn't,
Okay,
I didn't see it anywhere on there.
okay. That's good.
We can't add that, it has to be made a motion to add that.
Right, but we didn't do that motion. Okay. Okay, then we're ready to move on to the tri-municipal park. And I have 3 individuals signed up for public comment. We have Catherine Smith. Would you like to speak at the podium? That way Charles will be able to hear as well.
I will start off, I hope there will be others. I don't feel informed about this. I'm not informed about this move, and sorry if this is muffling me. And when I learned of it, and knowing the township's past investment here, I wondered why are we doing this, and why now? And maybe I've missed some public information distribution on it. It's quite likely I have. But I'm in favor of keeping the park if we can, keeping our involvement in the park. So I will say that. I think looking forward to the future is what that's about. It may be problematic now financially, in some way I don't understand yet, haven't heard the argument why now. But this is an area where if you don't have a place to go out and play games or have recreation, and with our growing population and lot size developments, it seems to me there might be a number of young families that would be very happy to have space. I'm one of the older ones that will go walk, that kind of thing, because walking on the roads here is not a great idea. And again, if you don't have a lot of space of your own, you need a place to walk. So, I'm in favor, but I think I'm in favor. I can imagine good uses of it. I don't know what the problems are or the objections to continuing with the park. So I came to the meeting hoping I would hear discussion, get information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ben Howe?
Yeah, so maybe I could answer some of Catherine's questions. Our initial expense in the park was $116,000, and from what I understand, all the other municipalities also went into that with that amount of money. And now, so down the road here, that was in 2006, and so we're down the road here now. I'm not sure what the initial maintenance fee was for the park when it first started. Last year was $5,500. Now Great Township's asked to contribute $7,000 per year. Now that's an open-ended thing. So that means it can go up 10,000, whatever it can go up higher, right? Now, at $7,000 per year, all right, in 5 years, that's an equivalent of $35,000 that we would save. That's if it doesn't go up. But with inflation, everything going on, whatever, all right? The other thing is with the park, it's 8 miles away in another township. The money from the taxpayers of Great Township is going out of here, all right, to another place. Now, the other thing about that is that and I just lost my train of thought. So, yes, the other thing about that is that another board in another township or other municipalities is controlling what we do with our money. And so they just say, this is what it's going to be, and that's now, folks, look at the agreement, that's what the agreement is, you know. And so it's a bad deal for us, all right? It's a bad deal. If all the people wanted it, that's one thing, you know, we're public servants, we want to do what the public wants, and I get that. But even if it's what the public wants, it's still a bad deal for us, okay, as a township, all right? But, whatever, all right? So I believe it would be in our best interest to get out of that thing, right? That's what I believe. Now, to get out of it, it's $39. It's going to cost us the $7,000 that we're still going to owe in the agreement this coming year, and it's going to cost us the $31,000 that is on that loan, Penn Best loan. All right. Now, if in the future we wanted to contribute to the park, so be it. But right now we're locked in. Okay, we're locked into something, and you know we need money for our ball field. You know what I'm saying? We kind of scratch money. I remember the conversation about the money with the clay. You know, well, we've got a ball field. We've got parks stuff that we want to take care of. You know, so that I'm just thinking that. So I just feel like the taxpayers of Gregg Township would be better represented if we did not, if we got out of this, especially the obligation of it. All right, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, we have employees we want to pay. You know, we're trying to, guys, the building's big. We'd like to keep this, right? So, I mean, my opinion. And so that money could be spent elsewhere, is all I'm saying. It has plenty other things that would do with the $7,000. And we're kind of in a trap, and it's kind of a bleeding. You know, every year we're going to do this. Plus, we send our guys up there, you know, when they need it. And anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. And Dan Hall.
Well, Charles? Okay. Thanks for setting aside this time to collect information from the community. Initially, I'd like to say that I recognize the value of the tri-municipal park to the degree it's developed right now. I have a couple of grandsons that have played sports out there. My wife and I have gone out there, watched those sports, and enjoyed reviewing the park. There's a lot of potential for future recreational benefits, and so there's some pretty good potential there. However, I am opposed to Gregg Township money is going to this park when the only townships contributing to it is Gregg, Center Hall Borough, and Potter Township. As I mentioned before, my grandsons have played sports at the Tri-Municipal Park, yet they live in Penn Township, and they make no contributions. And I just don't believe that's the correct way to handle it. And I'm certainly opposed to raising the $5,500 annual fee to $7,000. And I don't know if that's already been decided. It sounds like it has been, but I'm opposed to that. So I'm presuming that the contributions that these three townships make to the tri-municipal park are being used for maintenance and future development. And I've not done any research on that, but that's my assumption. So, are we advised as a township, were we advised of those expenses, where those monies are being used? And I have to assume that we are. You know, are those monies exhausted every year? And how will the $21,000 or whatever we do contribute collectively, how will that be spent in this coming year? So here's my proposal. There are several townships in the area whose citizens potentially benefit from that tri-municipal park. Those townships can easily be determined by identifying which townships pay property taxes for the Penns Valley Area School District. Each of these townships must share, they must share, this is my proposal. Each of these townships, as defined, must share in these municipal contributions. And they can distribute that. If it's $21,000 this year they're asking, or $30,000 the following year, whatever that is, they can distribute that in a percentage-wise based on the population of the kids from those respective townships that attend this school. That's how I see an easy way to manage the expense. If the equitable sharing among all of the townships is not established, then Gregg Township should pursue withdrawal from the tri-municipal park. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dan. I do have something I was asked to read. From Erica Husser. She's unable to be here tonight, but she asked me to read correspondence that she sent to me. And Charles and Doug have received copies of that as well. She says, unfortunately, I won't be able to make the meeting tonight. She sent me this Wednesday. I do feel like you know where I stand, and that, of course, is a plea for the township to stay the course at least for 1 year. I know it's a 12-month process to pull out, but it seems premature to pull out without all the details of this situation unexplored. Walking away from a $144,000 investment without due diligence and without going to bat for a more equitable distribution of support between the 3 municipalities would not be the responsible thing to do. I know this is a tough decision. Please remember that you represent the entire township. This is about us and ours, not me and mine. It's a lot to think about, and I appreciate your service to the community. My family commitments prevent me from being there tonight. I hope a measured approach. The subject is achieved. Please share this email with your fellow supervisors and read it into the record. With respect, Erica Husser. And I responded back to her yesterday saying, I appreciate receiving your email regarding Tri-Municipal Park. I am forwarding it to Pam, our township secretary, for her to forward to Doug and Charles. Also, the Board of Supervisors meeting is not tonight. It is Thursday, November 9 at 6:30. Perhaps you will be able to make the meeting tomorrow. And she did get back saying that I have a PVCA board meeting tomorrow night at 6:30, but thank you for letting me know I have the wrong date. So that is from Erica. So I'll open up for discussions.
Okay, well, Kathy, you and Charles both said you talked to a number of people who feel it should get out of the park.
Right.
And so,
I did talk with those, but
yeah, I went out and Marcia went out, Jane Scheikenzuber, Joel, and some others, I think. And we collected signatures of residents who wanted us to keep the park. And so far, we have 122 residents who want us to keep the park. And we're slow at gathering signatures. It takes an awful long time to go knocking on doors. You might spend all afternoon to get 3 signatures.
Right.
So if I could continue this for a while, I'm sure I could get a lot more. And I just wanted to state that I think there are more people out there than we realize who are interested in keeping this park. I did want to address what Dan said somewhat. I think if the park were developed more, and some of the things we wanted to do were there, it would attract more people. I think it'd be more likely you could get other townships to contribute. I don't know that you could get them all. Haynes is right out there. I don't think that Haynes would be interested, although Amish folks do like to play volleyball. That's all I have to say.
And I was going to mention, I did review the information you sent as far as signatures, and they're not all Greg Township, they're residents from Penn Valley.
Well, the 122 is
Are the Greg
Greg,
Township, okay.
and these others
Are the-
just
okay.
wanted to sign it because we were
I
there
understand that.
at a sporting event or something.
Okay.
And so, but I separated them,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's clear, thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I know I probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't know how many people realize that there are grants in place or in process, and I'm not sure what the status of the park will be if the grants, if the people that are getting the grants realize that one of the townships pulls out.
That has been addressed, and that has no bearing, those grants have no bearing on whether
Yeah,
Greg Township
I've
is in
heard that too.
or not in.
Okay.
Yes,
I didn't
that
realize
had been addressed, thank you, Marcia.
Okay.
Yeah. I think as Catherine had indicated, I think we were all a little misinformed or not informed. I can include myself in that from years past. I was not aware of the involvement of our Greg Township in the park. And I was a little disturbed by, the initial $116,000 coming out of our general budget to go to this park. And then the additional, I think it was a $45,000 Penn West loan. And the payment of that is so minimal per month that it stretches that loan out to 2039. And I understand that you would want your payment to be as low as you can when you start a project such as this, because you don't really have the money coming in at that time. Has there been anything on those 2 grants that you had applied for? I know it was indicated last month that perhaps you would hear on the one by the end of November and the other by the end of December.
As far as I know, David, no?
Have not had any? Okay.
May I ask what those grants are for? What, are they addressing the $35,000 loan for Pinvest?
No, they're for capital improvements, pavilion, public
Okay,
restroom.
additional expenses.
Yeah,
Okay.
do a little better job on the trails, and they have added a bicycle